Let me get into this one really
Go
quick.
ahead.
House passes bill to ban transgender student athletes from women's sports. The House passed legislation Tuesday that would ban transgender athletes from participating in women's and girls' sports at schools and institutions receiving federal funds. The bill, which would also amend federal law to say that sex shall be recognized based solely on a person's reproductive biology and genetics at birth, was approved largely along party lines in a 218 to 206 vote. Only 2 Texas Democrats voted in favor of the measure. Texas Rep. Henry Cellular and Vincent Gonzalez, Don Davis, and then Don Davis of, what did they say 2, but there's 3, Don Davis in North Carolina, voted present. And the Republicans opposed the measure, and no Republicans opposed the measure.
I mean, I would have voted against it too. Not against it, but I would have voted for that measure as well. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, nobody wants. I wouldn't. I got a daughter, you know, and
Yeah, I
so
do too.
at that time, I would not want a male in her sport. I don't care if you're transitioning, what you got going on. That's your thing. I get it. I don't care. That's your personal opinion, personal preference. But I wouldn't want you in a sport with my daughter.
Yeah, me
for
either.
what?
Me either.
Just like I want my daughter in a sport with men, with boys. I mean, period. I wouldn't want to have to subject boys to that, and I wouldn't want to subject girls to that.
And for the thing, no one should be subjected to it. It's at the end of the day, they should just create their own trans league,
or they just play. I mean, there has to be some type of, unless you're a hermaphrodite.
Yeah,
there has to be some assigned sex at birth.
I'm just saying, like, before they never had women's sports before. Then they created women's sports, and some women took interest in it. So hey, if you're trans and you want to do sports, create trans sports. Now, if there's nobody trans around you to do the sport with you, it is what it is.
They got that 6'3", 6'4" dude swimming. You know what I mean? Who plays,
they gave it to the lady.
I know.
They gave her a medal. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, he couldn't even. He was like the 200, 300 or something.
He was at the end of the line where
some dude swimming. He comes in and dominates the women's swimming sport. There's no way, man. That just should never happen.
That's what messes with me too. Is because, like, you have these, these women. They work their whole life to get to where they're at, to be the top swimmer at your college, to win that medal or whatever, right? And then somebody, I mean, it's unfair. Especially for women's sports, bro, because women had to come a long way. I mean, it's a struggle to be a woman. And
it's messed up that, because in reality, I mean, this is us having to defend that viewpoint. But I think a lot of women have defended the viewpoint of, where people from that community should be included in things.
What would they call us?
They should be
because
included.
We're against it, right? What do they call? They would call us. They would probably say we're anti-trans. No, I'm just about fairness. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, hey, if that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live. But at some point, just like that,
I'm not anti-trans. You can be transgender all you want.
Yeah, all you want.
This is different. This is apart from that.
This is sports.
Called
this is
sports.
Competition.
This is not saying your personal preference to be who you want to be. That does not make it so that I have to have my daughter or someone. My daughter's older now, but have someone else's kid playing against your kid, and your kid has a physical advantage. That is not natural. You know what I mean? So that's all there is to it, period. That should not happen.
I feel,
should we let them in boxing as well, too? We had that situation go on earlier. I think it was either earlier this year, I believe it was.
Last year.
Yeah, last year. Okay. We had the situation already go on. So should we have them in that, too? Does it make sense?
It's kind of crazy. I fear for what else is going to happen, because, I mean, this is not going to be the end. This is just a part of it. I think we reported on another piece where even Meta was like, hey, you can call them mentally ill now.
Mentally ill. That's too far for me. I think that's too far for me. Because they're not just talking about, and that's just not me saying that I believe that people who are trans should be able to be called that either. But that's just not talking about a person who is transgender or whatever they want to call themselves. That's also talking about people who are just like lesbian or gay or
non-binary.
Or whatever. I'll be honest, I don't even know what non-binary.
It means non-binary is basically you don't claim a boy or a girl. You're just you.
Whatever the case may be. See so I'm talking about like this. Okay, you're gay, you're bisexual, you're lesbian or whatever. You know what I mean? Either one of those. That's okay. I get it. But you shouldn't be able to call people anywhere go that they have mental illness. But especially those ones right there. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like my personal opinion, transgender. That's the thing. That's a different thing for me. I'm not saying you should be able to call them mentally ill either, because I don't think that's right. No matter what, but you've blanketed this whole entire statement, even on people who feel like their sexuality is, they may be a man or a woman and they like a man or a woman. You know what I mean? Like, you feel me? That's to me, it's just a little bit too far. Now you're able to, what else are we going to say to them next? What else are we going to be able to do to them?
I mean, think about it. Like,
are you going to take away
go on their page, not even know them, just be looking for one and be like, you're mentally ill, you're mentally ill, you're mentally. I mean, they can try to report it as harassment, but it wouldn't be.
Look, and on top of that, I'm saying, it just to me at this point in time, man, it's just gotten to a point to where what's going to happen next, man? What are they going to?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is just the tip of an iceberg.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to strip all their rights away.
And it's crazy because you look at the person who's probably pushing this the most, other than Donald Trump, it's Elon Musk. He's probably pushing this the most. He's probably went to every platform like, hey, I bet you guys were pissed when you guys had to sit on those panels and be berated by Congress people who you're billions of dollars, have billions of dollars more than, way stronger than, as far as like, even in the political standpoint, you know what I mean? Even worldwide, you had to sit there and be belittled by these people. Not anymore. You don't have to go through that anymore. And if you think about it here.
They tried to mix it with the black movements and some of them, like ADOS. Go ahead.
I'm saying, and Elon Musk is probably the one who took this to them like, hey, we got the power now. We hold the keys. Look, they're all buddied up now. Him, Mark Zuckerberg, and also Jeff Bezos. They're all buddied up. But on top of that, you have to remember Elon Musk's son, I believe it was his son, transitioned into a girl. And he got angry about that and wanted to say his mom forced them to start taking, what are they called? Those pills where you start transitioning pills. I can't remember what they're called, like hormone blockers or something like that. And like that, he was tricked into this, and he was tricked, and that Elon was tricked into signing the paperwork for him to start taking the hormone blockers. You were tricked. How were you tricked?
Hey man,
I mean, you got some of the best lawyers there is.
Hey man, period. Sometimes things happen when you angry and it's passionate when it comes to kids.
No man,
you know what I'm saying? Like we could dig deep into it. Like when I'm not defending his answer, bro. I'm just saying, like,
if you care so much about that and you're so against that, you're not going to let your kid be taking hormone blockers when they're underage. If it's your decision, if I'm against that,
Texas, it's against the law. It's child abuse.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. So now, but this person's the one who's actually took it to them all. Now they're all like, "Hey, we should be calling them mentally ill. We should saying something's wrong with them." You're pushing this, and you remember you have a kid who's one of these people.
Well, no, I've said it before, bro. They went too far. As soon as they started trying to like educate the children on that stuff, that's when it became a problem.
Yeah.
That's when it became a huge problem. And then it kept going and kept going.
I think that was big. Like you said before, that's a big part of the reason why the Democrats lost. I mean, you should have saw how many times the ad where she was sitting there, and people who are in jail should be able to have access. I couldn't believe she said this. Like, what possessed you to say that?
You in jail.
Like what are you talking about, man? Like, anyway, you know what I'm saying?